mouth. First fish of the day. Caught him on an 1/8 ounce jig, or 16 ounce jig, sorry. And a baby night crawler. Not a bad start. I'll show you what I'm doing here. Giving it a heave out there towards those standing up trees out there. Very windy today. I don't know if you can hear it, but you definitely can see it, I'm sure. Fishing with a 6-foot ultralight 1000 series Shimano Sedona, 4-pound high vis line. I'm at the giving pond, and the knock on this pond is that the bass population is not very good, and it's overrun with bluegills, and that's why the bass aren't doing very well. This is a roughly 90-acre old quarry that's been flooded. Standing trees all the way around in the water. I started on the north end today, and very rocky at that end. Slime all over everything. I couldn't catch it, and I started with a Bobby Garland minnow. I was swimming that around fallen trees. Nothing was chasing, so I switched over to swimming under a bobber, and still nothing. So I walked down to this end of the lake. This end, the bottom is sandy, which makes for better spawning habitat. It's not the spawn yet, but I guess if the fish are going to move close to their spawning areas, they'd probably come this way, because the other end is really rocky. And this, I don't know if you can tell by looking down in the water here, this is a nice sandy bottom. That's all good for a spawn. Now, I'm not bass fishing. Started today hoping I could get in some crappies and bluegills, red ear sunfish. Cooler with me some ice. Because the way to beat a overabundant bluegill population, if your bass are struggling, is to try to catch some of the breeder size bluegills and take them out. And the Fish Commission has been stocking walleyes in here to try to eat the small bluegills, because the bass weren't able to keep it done. But that's been happening for over 10 years now, and I've never heard of anybody catching a walleye out of here. Doesn't mean it hasn't happened. But it's a good idea, especially with the price of fish these days. Unbelievable. I went to grocery shopping yesterday. I couldn't believe the prices on some of the fish. I mean, a single salmon fillet, just a pound or so, was almost 20 bucks. Who can afford to eat that or pay for it? So the Fish Commission says this was overrun with bluegills and we got to get rid of a few. Heck, I'll have a bluegill fish fry. This is a public area to fish. Any public area that you fish, if you got bluegills, crappie, even bass, if they're legal size bass and they're in the season, by all means, it doesn't hurt anything to take one once in a while. this place is overrun with bluegills. I haven't been able to prove that so far in a couple hours of trying. And we do have high pressure today and a lot of wind. So that does tend to make the fishing really, really tough. But I mean, last weekend I was catching bluegills up close to the bank at Nakamixon under similar conditions. Today I haven't even seen a small bluegill up close to the bank. We'll keep trying though. There he goes. There's another fish. Oh, this one's better, whatever it is. I don't know what we got. He's pulling hard, like he doesn't want to come in. Just saw a big white flash. This is definitely a better fish. And looks like a walleye, believe it or not, and that's what it is. I just said that I've never heard anybody catching a walleye out of here, and I got me a walleye. Not a bad walleye either. Come on, give me my hook back. Spot in his mouth. First walleye of the year, folks. Not a bad fish. Hey, that's a sign that I'm onto something here. We'll let her go. She's not in season. There you go. See if I can salvage this night crawler. Not that I really need to, but that's something else. If you've seen the price of bait these days, crazy. Absolutely nuts. Price of bait these days. Bought a dozen night crawlers earlier this week so I could get out in case fish weren't biting the jigs. I could throw some night crawlers. $6.25 for a can of night crawlers. We used to get them for $1. I'm probably aging myself right there. But seriously, $6.25 for a small tin, really. I don't know what there's a dozen or 20 night crawlers in there. They're not very big. They're baby night crawlers. $20 for a fillet of salmon. Tell you what, the way this economy is going, even with the right man in office, it really does. It makes sense to go out and dig your own night crawlers, and if you want fish for dinner, go out and catch yourself some fish. There's supposed to be a lot of bluegill here so far. I've caught a bass, which the bluegill are supposed to be hurting their population, and I caught a walleye, which the Fish Commission stocked in here to take care of the bluegills. So maybe the walleye stocking has been doing the trick. I don't know if any of you guys fish with these TFO trout panfish rods. Spooled up with some 4-pound line. that made that 15-inch walleye a real sporting challenge. Now, I used to fish an awful lot in bass tournaments. I used to guide, and of course that was all power fishing mostly. Heavy line, heavy rods, power fishing. Hook fish and reel it in, get it in the boat, keep fishing, you know. When I started guiding panfish fishing, and those trips were so much more fun. I enjoy that so much. Fishing with light line, small little baits, and you can't kill a population by putting a few in your live well. At least nobody will complain about it. Bass fishermen will complain if you keep bass, especially up here in these parts. We're not far from the Delaware River where I'm at now. All the guides out there are saying, put the smallmouths back, the river's loaded with walleye and red ear sunfish and red breast sunfish. Keep them, eat them. Can't blame those guys for saying that. I mean, the smallmouth is their money fish. And walleye does taste good. I don't know if anybody's ever tried smallmouth bass or largemouth bass, but bass is a fantastic eating fish too. Really, any fish I like. Almost nothing I wouldn't eat. There's a lot of bottom feeders that I probably wouldn't be too interested in. I was going to wear waders today and figured I won't need them, so I just wore knee-high rubber boots. And I don't think I have to tell you, I've gone over the left boot once already. Thank goodness the water's not as cold as it looks. That probably would have been the end of my fishing if it was real cold. But we dumped the water out, we wrung the water out of my sock, and we kept right at it. And if we got walleyes in there, I may have to start tying walleye jigs. Probably go with a bucktail jig for walleyes. I like purple and chartreuse jigs for walleyes. Maybe I'll tie up a couple of those. Of course, they go for, they like whites and yellows. Orange is a good color for walleye. But I like purple and chartreuse. There we go, there's a good cast. There's no way we don't get one on that cast. Just kind of the wind to lay down a little bit there so I could get some distance. Let's see if that pays off. The jig I'm using has a size 8 hook in it. That was plenty of hook for largemouth and the walleye. And neither one of them was real big, but anybody tries to tell you that small hooks don't work, that's not the case. Of course, 4-pound line, you don't want to use a real heavy hook. Sometimes I'll move up to a size 6. But usually I try to stay a little smaller. A little bit of resistance here. I wonder what's going on down there. Of course, I'm fishing for bluegills, so to get up to a size 2 or size 4 hook, it's probably too big for them. And tough to get a good hook set with 4-pound line on the big hooks, unless you're using the light wire hook. Real important to make sure you got the right hook. There we go, there's another bite. He spit it out. Like he's swimming towards me with it. He is. Nope. Huh. I was going to say it's time to move, but I think we'll throw out there one more time. It's the first time I ever come to Giving Pond and fish this end of the lake. The lake is very low right now. Normally full pool. If you look down this way, it's usually up into the bushes. Really tough to fish from the bank around here. I don't know if the plan is to keep the lake down like this or not, but I'm going to come back at least one more time and do a jerkbait show here. Try to catch more walleyes and some bass, probably. And then I also like come back with the waders and get around those standing trees with the fly rod and some hair jigs. See if I can pull off a couple of good crappies. Catch a good crappie dinner. So you probably want to stay tuned for those episodes. We're going to get out on the river here. It's only about 300 yards behind me, the Delaware River. And we're going to do a show out there for sure. There's not a lot of bank access on the Delaware River. But we'll get out there and do at least one show. I see the line jumping, so something down there nibbling on my worm. That's when it's good to have that high vis line. I can really see that really well. I move the jig, there's nothing there. Maybe just a little fish nibbling at it. Of course, that show last week I did at Nockamixon, the early season show I did at Nockamixon. That's where I cut my teeth fishing, so we'll probably do quite a few shows up there at the Nock. That fish isn't coming back. Gotta shut her down for a second, and we're gonna go up the lake a little bit. Alright, this spot here, I can tell you, off the bank it is a heck of a lot deeper. I can't walk out very far. And there's some wood out there, and we're right amongst it. So maybe a little deeper water is where the bluegills are at, who knows. The wind is blowing a big bow on my line. I don't like that. but at least I can see it. So if something hits, I get to see the line jump. A lot of times, windy days, that's all you can see. You see the line jump a little bit, or you just see fish swimming off with your line. That's how I caught that walleye. The line was just swimming off to the left. If there's anything in particular you guys would like to see, please comment down the bottom. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe, and if you like the video, hit the like button. I'll try and bring you fishing shows from all over this area in Bucks County, Pennsylvania. We have a pretty good variety of areas that I like to fish. My fishing shows I will only do in public fishing locations, so you guys can see spots that you might want to try, or techniques that work where I fish. Maybe they'll work where you fish too. So of course the wind kicks up. Let it stop for a second. Alright. Out that way a little bit. Decided I'm also going to shoot a couple videos showing how I tie my crappie jigs. I got to start shooting the traditional bows again. Felt a tap there, something just hit my worm. Holy cow, did you see that? That scared the heck out of me. I think that was a carp. Something swimming off with my worm, I think. Yep. Something's just pecking at it. Drag my worm across the bottom. That's the thing about fishing with a layaway jig. The wind can push your line and moves your jig right with it. Tough conditions like this, that jig swimming too fast along the bottom is probably not going to generate very many strikes. That's why I'm just crawling it, turning the reel handle real slow. Like I said, this is Giving Pond is public. Fish the whole way around it. There's a boat ramp on the north end. Fishing with electrical motors only. And there is hunting all around the lake, archery only for deer. It's the only hunting they allow. And I think that's because the only reason they allow the hunting here is because there is a large population of deer in the area. It's not safe to shoot a gun around this area. Too many houses. Walking around the lake, I saw a few buck rubs. Nothing really to write home about. Lots of deer tracks in the dirt along the edge of the lake. I guess they come down to get a drink of water or whatever. Probably the easiest way to walk around the lake is to get regular close to the water. The brush along the edge here is really thick. You got to pick and choose your spots very carefully on how to get down to the water. Wow, that's not good. I keep feeling the slightest of taps last couple casts. And they bit off 2 night crawlers. That's the thing about the wind. It makes it really tough to detect strikes. Check my fish regulation book. Find when walleye come in season, because I like walleye. Walleye is white and flaky, good flavor. And now out here in the Delaware River, they got to be 18 inches. I'm not sure what the size limit is here at Giving Pond. Might be 15, I'm not sure. If it's 15, that fish that I caught earlier might have been a keeper. I know they're not in season yet. That season doesn't start again until May usually. Open year round over in the river though. Like I said, bank access in the river is not very good. When it's real cold, if you're not in the right spot on the river, you're not going to catch anything. I don't have a easy access spot on the river that I know of that would be good for late winter, early spring fishing. But I know spots where I can catch them in the summer. So we'll get over there when the temperature gets a lot warmer. See if we can't catch a couple walleye or maybe get into some good smallmouth fishing. And for all my friends who guide out there on the river, yes, we'll put the smallmouth back. We'll only keep the walleyes. Even though we do like the taste of bass, we like the taste of walleye a hell of a lot better. Look at that cast, right there next to the big stick. Uh-oh, I got a loose loop. I don't know how that happens. I'll tell you how it happens. A windy day like today, you get a bow in your line, next thing you know you got loose loops in your spinning reel, and that's a recipe for disaster. You don't rectify that right away, Next thing you know, you got a bird's nest somewhere caught up in there amongst your rod guides, and you'll never get it out. It'll be a terrible knot. Tell you what, folks, I appreciate you watching the video. Wish I could have caught more fish for you today. Right now my stomach is telling me it's time to head for home. Well, high pressure days like that. Not a cloud in the sky. 15-mile-per-hour winds on and off. I didn't expect to catch much. I was hoping to catch a couple of bluegill for dinner. That didn't happen. But I did get one nice bass and one pretty nice walleye. So I'll be back. Fish didn't win this time. And they won't win next time. So hang in there, guys. And remember, we're all on the same team. Have a great weekend.